Why did the American government not resort to using propaganda and recessive laws to encourage Americans to join the war? To better understand why Americans willingly joined World War II, it is important to have an understanding of the general consensus of the people as well as the events that led up to the United States joining the fight. Disenchanted by their experience in World War I, Americans wanted to stay out of the overseas conflicts. This attitude helped to create an isolationist mentality within the United States. Americans had not seen anything gained by their involvement in the Great War. Therefore, many Americans wanted the United States to stay out of foreign affairs, more specifically conflicts. Americans could not see the benefit of the United States asserting itself into an international policy and maintained an isolationist mentality in regards to America and the war in Europe. Isolationists saw a need to focus on America first and reasoned that America should secure its position in the West. The Neutrality Acts were a set of laws designed to prevent the U.S. from being involved in foreign wars by taking a stance of neutrality. There were several sets of acts to regulate the U.S.'s actions to keep a neutral position, such as prohibiting making loans or the export of arms and ammunition. As reports of the war came to America, Americans were moved to prepare for their own defense. But many still were opposed to the U.S. intervening in the war overseas. In September of 1940, the America First Committee was formed. One of its most prominent members, Charles Lindbergh, held rallies to encourage Americans to keep out of the war and to increase their own defenses. Americans were able to listen to reports of the bombing of many cities in the United Kingdom. During these radio broadcasts, Americans could hear the sounds from the bombing by the Germans known as the Blitz. Although Americans were not in favor of the fascist actions of Nazi Germany, Italy's Mussolini, or Japan's militarization, the reports and sounds heard over the airways pulled at the heartstrings of many Americans who were feeling sympathetic to the British, but were not quite ready to join the fight. As Americans' sympathies towards Great Britain's plight increased, Roosevelt skirted around the Neutrality Acts and sold war goods to them. This was Roosevelt's way of aiding the Allies and still keeping Americans home and out of the fight. As the war progressed, Britain was running out of money to continue the cash-and-carry policy that Roosevelt had devised, so FDR came up with a plan to lend or lease war materials to Great Britain and any other countries fighting against the Axis powers. Partly due to FDR's ally support plans, such as cash and carry and Lend-Lease, and in part due to the United States' self-focus, the U.S. increased production of goods. The increase in production not only created more jobs and gave the United States more military machines like ships and planes, it also provided a much-needed economic boost. It is important to know that before the Second World War, the United States had started to head towards another economic decline. With the threat of another depression avoided, many Americans were once again prospering. Undoubtedly, the events of December 7, 1941 on Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, led the United States to become an active participant in World War II. Early on that Sunday morning, Japanese bombers attacked the U.S. base, destroying airfields, planes, ships, and killing thousands of Americans, including sailors, soldiers, Marines, and civilians. The following day, Congress approved Roosevelt's declaration of war on Japan, which is shortly followed by a declaration of war on the United States by their ally Nazi Germany. Not only was the United States fully involved in the war, the Japanese bombing of Pearl Harbor brought about a change of mind in the majority of Americans who now fully supported Americans' involvement in the war. Once faced with the threat of totalitarianism, Americans prepared to fight for democracy. Many gave the ultimate price by giving their lives to secure the freedoms we enjoy in this country today.